Today I'm going to show you how to design a swing card. I've also heard these called flip cards. That is because when you make them, there's a little piece that when you open up the card, it's going to kind of pivot and flip or swing open. And I went on Google and then I just typed in swing card template. I started to find some different templates. I like this one. So this is what we're going to use for dimensions. You can see the overall rectangle is 7.5 by 5.5. So let's start with that. Insert a shape of a square. Unlock it. Make it 7.5 by 5.5. I'm also going to make this white. All right, so next we're going to want to insert some cut lines in here, and these dashed lines are score lines. So from here to here is 2.5. So I am going to need a score line that is, a cut line that is 2.5 inches long. So I'm going to go to my shapes, insert a score line, go to operation, change that score line to a cut line, and it already came in at 2.5 inches long. So I'm all set there. It does not actually say the dimension from here to here, but since it gave me the dimension from here to here and here to here, I can subtract 3/4 minus 1 3/4 to know that this is 1.5 inches. So I need another cut line here and here at 1.5 inches. So again, I'm going to go to my shapes, insert a score line, change it to a cut line. This time I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. I'm going to make it 1.5 inches long. And I'm going to say take both of those and align them to the bottom. And then let's say align them to the left. It brought those corners together. I'm now going to group these so that they continue to work as a group as I add more pieces. So now I'm going to click over here so that I can select just that horizontal cut line and duplicate that. So now I want to bring that up here and say I'll align that to the left and align it to the top. And let's group that. So now I have this kind of C-shaped cut, which is this C shape. So now I need 1.5 inches score line here and here. So I did a line to the right to line it up here. And if I align to the top, then I know I have to move this one straight up 1.5 inches so that the bottom lines up with that top. So what I did was I subtracted the top of this is at 2. So if I wanted this to be 1.5 inches higher, that's at 1/2 inch. Okay, so now let's duplicate that guy. Burn it down here. Remember to group all of this because I don't want to move the placement of anything. And now I can go align to the right. And this one I'm going to align to the bottom. And now I can do that same sort of thing and say, not that one. There we go, that one. Let's group all of that. So now we have the first side. I could take this whole grouping and duplicate it and then flip it horizontally. And now I just need to change these horizontal pieces to, those are 1/2 inch. So if I click on, so now what I have to do is ungroup all of this because I do want to work with those individual pieces again. So now this I'm going to change to just be 1/2 inch. Not sure why it moved the height. Now I'm just aligning things again. And I'm going to group these two. So now I can say take all of those and align to the bottom, align to the right, and group. Perfect. If I take both of these and group them together, I could take all of this and say align them to the top. And now I know all of that is lined up. Yeah, those are grouped together. So if we say if we align to the left and then align it centered vertically. Oh, that worked. That put everything in the right place. Perfect. Okay, so now what I gotta get is the distance between this and this. Let's go back to our layout. They're 1 inch apart. Let's group all of this. So if I put in a shape of a square that is 1 inch, and now I say take this and align it to the top and align it to, let's go to the right. Okay. So now I can move this 1 inch this way. Okay. So now I will take this and say to the left and align to the top. Now this one we want to move an inch this way. Okay, so now I can get rid of that because I was just kind of using that as a guide. So that is where I want everything placed. Perfect. Let's group all that together. Now I have to place this whole thing on the card. So it's 1 inch and 3/4 in from here. Align it all to the top and align it to the left. Ooh, why did it do that? I didn't have everything grouped. And there's something missing down there. Okay, let's do this again. Something's not grouped over here. There we go. Let's group the whole thing again. Align to the top, align to the left. All right. So now if I click on this, and we want to move it on the X, if I want to check this, I could insert a shape of a square, because from here to here should be 2 3/4. So if I make this 2.75, hey look, that fits. So we know this is right. So that is where we want the score lines and the cut lines to hit to make this all work. So what I'm going to do is select all of this and say attach. Attach holds the placement and position of your score, cut lines, and writing. So now everything's going to be exactly where I laid it out. So this is the base for my swing or flip card. If I wanted to, I could come in and create these little pieces that you're seeing here. They're layering on top. So this C shape, these little pieces, here's another C shape. So those are just going to layer on top. And I would just use the same process of doing the math to figure that out. So I started with this center square. I made it 2.5 by 3. And then I used my inset, which is basically an offset that slid to the inside, to put that in there. So now I can start to do that with these pieces. So if I do 1.5 by 3.25. I'm going to need 2 of those. And then this piece is 1 3/4 by 5.5. So now I can take both of those and align to the left and align to the top and weld them. Align to the left and align to the bottom. weld them. So now this gives me the full piece here, but I don't want the full piece. I want a little inset piece. So I'm using the same inset I used before on this one. And there's my inset piece. I can change those colors later. So now is that, so it's going to be wider over here. So if I take this and say flip it horizontally, I'm getting close to the shape I want, but I want a little fatter over here. So now I can just do 2 3/4. All that and weld it. Now click on it and do the inset and apply. Okay, now I just need to build those little pieces, and those are just rectangles, which are 1 inch by 1.5 inches. Inset. All right, so now I can change all of these pieces to any colors I want, just like on my example card. I'm also going to duplicate this one because I am going to want something that's on the front and then something that when it flips, there's another sentiment. There's another image or sentiment on the inside. So I'm going to change all these colors to what I want them to be. And then we'll start cutting and I'll show you how to assemble this. I'm going to start off by folding this card. You can see the score lines there. I am going to just crease those. And I'm not worried about how the card is going to fold quite yet. I'm just getting the creases going. This is also helping to make the center flip part kind of pop out. So now let's look at that farthest crease line to the right. And I was playing with this, and what I discovered when I was trying to do this, it was easier just to set the whole card down and flip the entire piece to the right like that, and that folded perfectly. So when you're looking at this from a side angle, it kind of makes a Z shape. So then it can flip like that. So now that we have the flipping action taken care of, we can start to add the other pieces that are going to embellish this card. I'm just using a double-sided tape that is in a tape runner, and I'm applying that right to the back of these pieces, and then they just place perfectly into the sides of the card. before you go, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. I love to hear from you.